Everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. So today's video, I'm going to go over 20 essential items to bring with you when you're camping with kids. Now, this could also apply if you're going to a cottage or a cabin or staying in a beach house or somewhere near a lake. But a lot of these items could simply apply to you when you're traveling with young kids. I have 3 kids who are 8, 5, and 3. So definitely need a lot of items to keep them busy, whether at the campsite or whether we go to the beach and that sort of thing. So I'm going to go over here. I do have it written down, so I might glance at this once in a while because I don't want to miss anything. But I did compile 20 items that I felt were super important to have, and I'll explain why I think each item is important to have as I go through them. So the first one is beach toys. Now, I used to bring way too many beach toys because we usually go to this beach house on the island nearby us. And I often honestly brought way too many beach toys that it just became silly. So what I've now done is I have a small bin of beach toys, and honestly, it's enough for the kids to keep busy, but it's not too much to bring with us. Within the beach toys, I usually have a couple of buckets. I have some bigger shovels, some smaller shovels. I have some like little trucks and stuff to run around on the beach with, and a few other beach toy type items. And then I also have some beach balls because, let's face it, those are collapsible, so they're really easy to store. So beach toys are definitely a must-have if you're going to a lake or somewhere with sand or even rocks, honestly, because my kids play with them in the rocks as well. Those are definitely important. The second thing is a beach blanket. You definitely want something to sit on other than a towel. Now, we got some beach blankets from Costco. They're really, really great because they have a bit of a layer between them. So if you're staying on like wet grass, you don't really get wet. So they're really, really nice, and they fold up really small. We do have 2 of them with us in our trailer because we find with the 5 of us, it's nice to have a wider place to sit. So beach blankets are definitely a must-have because the towels just don't do it. And then plus you end up sitting on your towel and the kids might want to dry off with it. So the beach blanket, and also the beach blanket kind of marks our territory. So it kind of marks where we want to be on the beach, and that's our spot. Now, if it's a bit windy, we usually put the beach toy bucket or other things down to keep it from blowing away. So the third thing on my list is coloring and craft supplies. So my kids love to do arts and crafts, and the perfect thing to do on a picnic table. I bring, paper, coloring books, I bring scissors, I have markers, pencil, crayons. So anything that you think they would possibly need, I have it for them to do. And then this way they can sit down and color or draw or whatever it is they want to do. So I have a bin that I have of just all the coloring stuff and everything, and then I have a bin with all the paper and the coloring books. And that sort of thing. And another thing I also have is I have some clipboards with me along with the coloring stuff, because like what my son wanted to do last year was he actually wanted to walk around the campsite, and he drew a map of the campsite. So he walked around and drew out his map. They're also really great if you want to do like a scavenger hunt or something with your kids. Then they can have a clipboard to kind of write on. So clipboards are also very good to have with your coloring stuff, because then they can sit in a camp chair. They don't have to sit at the table necessarily. So it gives a lot more flexibility for them to be a little bit creative as well while you're on your camping trip. The fourth thing is books. So we have an abundance of books in our house. So I took a bunch of books from our house and put them in the trailer, and they stay in there. I have some, learn to read books. I have some board books. I have some other books. So I have a variety in there. Plus I got each of the kids a couple new books for camping this year. So those are in the trailer, and they're kind of special because they're in the trailer and they're new. But books are great because they mostly use them in the evening because, of course, when it's time to have quiet time, we find that it works really well if they kind of go into their bunks and they look at some books and have some quiet time. And then also, like my oldest, when he wakes up in the morning, he'll sit and read his books in the morning while he's waiting for everyone else to get up. So it's a great way to get them settled after a busy day outside. They're pretty tired, so they don't last very long, but it's a great way to kind of get them settled down, and we can also read stories to them whenever they want. So books are definitely a must-have. I probably have more than we need, but I like to have a variety so they don't get bored of the same books over and over again. At the end of the camping season, I'll probably take them out and put different ones in next year, but we'll see what I do. I might leave them in there. Who knows? The fifth thing is games. So when I talk about games, I'm not just talking about games for the kids. I'm also talking about games for the adults. So what I did as far as games for the kids, because we do have the trailer, so the games to stay in there all year, I bought some duplicates of the same games that the kids already have at home. That way I'm not flipping in and out of between the house and the trailer, or forgetting a game in the trailer when it's not stored here, or forgetting a game in the house when we go camping. So games that like my kids like is they like Junior Monopoly, they like the Junior Game of Life, they like Trouble, We have Mexican Train, which is like a domino game. We have some cards to play Go Fish. And then we also have like Uno and Skippo and Crib for my husband and I to play. And a few decks of cards and that sort of thing. So we have those kind of cards. And then what we've done is I got envelopes off of Amazon that have zippers on them. And I took all the pieces out of the box and put them in these envelopes. And that way it's less bulky, because last year I bought the actual boxes and they were way too bulky. So the sixth thing is some sort of ball. So we have a soccer ball that I have in the trailer because, you know, if you're near a field or something, or even on the beach, you can kick a soccer ball around. You can't go wrong with a soccer ball. We also have a ball and a couple of baseball gloves. We have a baseball glove for the kids that fits the kids and an adult one. So we can also play some catch as well. So things like that are really, really good because they get them a bit active, but they don't take up a lot of room to have with you. Number 7 is, depending where you're going, but a kite. Like when we go to our beach house on the island, the tide's way out there. So it's the perfect place to fly a kite because there's wind and there's no trees around, so it's perfect. Now, I don't recommend using this at a campsite, but if you're at a big beach or you have a big field that you're at, a kite is great and lots of fun to have. The 8th one is their favorite stuffy and or blanket. So my youngest loves his Paw Patrol blanket, so we always bring that with him. He doesn't really have a favorite stuffy, but he loves to have a car of some sort when he goes to bed. So that's what we bring with him. My oldest likes to bring his Minecraft pillow, his Minecraft blanket, and his little stuffed dog he's had since he's 18 months old. And my daughter likes to bring her little stuffed teddy bear, Corduroy, and her either Minnie Mouse or a Paw Patrol blanket, and then just her pillow from home. So those are like comfort things that's nice for them to have. We keep those in the trailer mostly just because we don't want them to get lost or get dirty, because we know they'd be devastating if we lost one of those things. But they usually come in the truck with them as well. So these are just little things that kind of give them that little bit of a comfort from home. Number 9, this is a big one, snacks. Now, I kind of covered this in my meal planning video, but you can never have too many snacks, and have snacks on hand that you know your kids will like and that you can easily pack with you if you go down to the beach, or if you go to the park, or if you go on an outing for the day. So I always have Ziploc bags so I can put some of the cookies in there. I have individual like Bear Paws. I buy the bulk of fish crackers because it's just cheaper, and I put some in a Ziploc bag for the kids. So snacks are definite must have, I think, with any age of kids, because let's face it, they're growing and they're always hungry. Number 10 is some toys. Now what I did was I have a small bin in the trailer that has, you know, a couple ponies and some dinosaurs, some animals, and some cars. So just a few things that the kids can use while camping, knowing that they're not going to spend a lot of time playing with toys because they'll be playing with the rocks, the sticks, running through the forest, we'll be playing at the beach. But it's nice to have stuff on hand to kind of keep them busy if we're just hanging about the campsite. So, you know, like my son took out all the animals and dinosaurs and they had battles. There's cars in there, so my youngest was pushing them down the hill or pushing them around the campsite or setting them up. So I just have that small bin, so that if they get dirty or anything, it's fine because they're camping toys. So they just stay in the trailers. Number 11 is walkie-talkies. So the kids asked for walkie-talkies from Santa, and Santa got them walkie-talkies at Christmas. What was really great about them is, number 1, they can be fun. So my oldest and my daughter were running around talking to each other on the walkie-talkies and having a great time. The second thing they're really good for is, so for example, my son's 8, so I kind of let him, you know, ride around the campsite by himself, or sometimes he'll go to the playground by himself that's nearby. But he has a walkie-talkie on him that we put a lanyard on. So I'm always in contact with him. I can just radio him and say, hey, where are you at? He'll tell me where he is. He'll tell me what campsite he's nearby. Or if it's lunchtime or dinner time, I can call him back over. So it's really great for communication and allows him that little bit of independence at the campsite, but enough that I can still be in touch with him. Or if he's on his bike and he fell down, he could radio me and say, hey, Mom, I fell. This is where I am. So walkie-talkies are great. Plus, they're also good. I'll go over it in another video, but they're also good for us adults as well when we're parking the trailer and that sort of thing. So walkie-talkies are really fun for the kids and just a really great way to keep in touch. Or if like my husband and my son went off for a walk somewhere else, they could be in touch with my daughter, my youngest, and I if we're somewhere else. So it's kind of a great way to keep in touch, especially when you don't have cell service. So it's even great for my husband and I when we can't use our cell phones. Number 12 is a beach tent. So depending on the age of your kids, obviously, you may or may not need a beach tent. Now the beach tent is also great if you have some food with you and you want to keep it a bit cooler. You can stick it in the tent. It's also a great way to create a little bit extra shade, but of course depends where you're at. Sometimes we're on beaches that's a little bit too windy, so it just becomes more of a nuisance than anything, but we like to have in the trailer just on hand, just in case. Or if we have someone with a little kid come visiting, then we have a tent for them on the beach. Number 13, life jackets. So even if you're not planning on going in a boat, especially when the kids are younger, life jackets are fantastic. Like my daughter wears a life jacket by the water just in case. My youngest will be getting him to wear a life jacket the more he explores the water as well, because just in case, yes, of course we're watching our kids, but it takes 2 seconds for them to go a little bit too deep and then they're in the water. So they always wear a life jacket in the water. My oldest, not as much now because he's a bit better swimmer, but life jacket is definitely something I think is really, really important around water, especially for a safety feature. So I definitely recommend a life jacket of some sort or something for your kids. Okay, so item number 14 is definitely something that we do not travel without, is our foldable wagon. So we actually have 2 wagons, and we took them on all our road trips instead of a stroller, so we could take them to the zoo to pack our kids and our food. And they're honestly super handy, plus they don't take up a lot of packing space. So we do bring 2 of them because we find sometimes between all the snacks and my youngest sometimes not wanting to walk down to the beach and our beach stuff and everything, that we do need the 2 wagons. So foldable wagon, definitely worth every single penny. So if you have a wagon but not a foldable one, I highly recommend you get one for vacations. It's just a nice way to transport your items and everything. We get them here at Costco. That's where I got both of mine, and we've had one of them for probably 3 or 4 years, and the other one we've had for at least 2 or 3 years, and they both work fantastic, and we've had no issues with them. It gives us a spot to put our water bottles in the front. We have a pouch in the back to put our keys and everything, and then we have all the space in between to put all the beach toys and everything. Number 15, flashlights. So flashlights are great for a couple reasons. Number 1, if you are tenting, it's great if you have small flashlights the kids can easily hold if they have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and you have to get out into the dark. Or flashlights are honestly sometimes just fun for the kids to use, but we have a bunch of them on hand and extra batteries. Number 16 is bikes. So our oldest loves to use his bike, so we always bring his bike and his helmet so he just rides around the campsite. We don't bring our bikes because we don't really go on bike rides or anything. It's mostly for the kids to ride around the campsite. So once my daughter starts riding her bike, she'll probably use it more. We do bring it with us in case she wants to learn how to ride her bike, but she's not really into it right now, which is fine. So we always have the bikes with us, because I remember as a kid, some of my great memories at a campsite was riding around the campsite. I don't know why that was so exciting, but that was something fun that I definitely enjoyed. Number 17 is lots and lots of clothes for your kids. So we had all our drawers full for the kids, but then I had an extra tote full of clothes, extra clothes for the kids, because if they get wet or if they get too dirty, I mean, we try to have the kids wear their clothes for a couple days, but of course if it's pouring rain, their clothes get wet or they get dirty, so they can't really wear them anymore. And then along with lots of clothes, I also bring some laundry detergent with me. So at least if anything, I can put some hot water in one of my bins and I can wash their clothes by hand and hang them to dry. Now, is it going to be as clean as on the washing machine? Not really, but it'll do the job to get us home, and then once we're home, I'll put them in the washing machine and get a proper washing done. Number 18 is beach hats. Now, not just, regular ball cap. I find with the kids, the ones with the brim all the way around are really, really good because they cover their ears and they cover the back of their neck and they cover their forehead. And the other thing about these hats too is you want something that's fairly lightweight, so that if they get wet at the beach, if they go in the water with them or something gets splashed or whatever, you want something that's going to be quick and easy to dry, because they're going to be wearing this hat every single day for your trip. So whether you're gone for a couple days or a week or 2 weeks, you want something that's going to be quick and easy to dry. The hats that we have, they're from a company called Cali Kids. We order them online. They're fairly reasonable. They're about $17, $18 a hat, and then plus I think it was $5 for shipping. So to me, fairly reasonable. My youngest, his hat, my oldest had when he was 18 months old up until my youngest, so we've had them for like 6 years. My daughter's used the same hat since she was 2, or no less than that, since she was a year old, and she still has that hat, and she's 5.5 now. And then my oldest, we replaced his hat a couple of years ago, and the hats honestly look brand new. My daughter has a white hat, and oddly enough, it's still fairly white, which I'm quite impressed with. Number 19, a beach bag. You need something to put your towels and the extra clothes and everything all into to keep them organized. We do throw the bag into the wagon, but at least then things are fairly organized and not thrown everywhere. So that way their clean clothes can stay clean because they're in the bag. And we have a fairly deep beach bag too, because by the time we put all that stuff in there, plus it's a great place to put, sometimes I'll bring a battery pack, power pack for my phone, depending on how many pictures I'm taking, and that's where I use my phone. So you can put those sort of things in the zipper pouches inside, so it helps keep them safe and protected from the sand and the water and that sort of thing. So beach bag is definitely a must, especially if you're going to the beach, or if you're going to just somewhere for the day. Instead of a beach bag, a good sized backpack, so you can fit snacks. You always need to change your clothes for the kids, because you just never know when they're going to get their clothes wet or dirty or something. Water bottles and that sort of thing. So a beach bag or a backpack of some sort is really, really handy to have with you. It just makes it the ease to bring in stuff with you. And the last thing, number 20, I'm pretty sure it's pretty self-explanatory, but you definitely want some sunscreen with you. Especially in the summer when it's really hot. I find that we'll put the sunscreen on the kids before we go, but then depending on how long you're gone for, it's good to have it more with you. And I usually have 2 bottles with me, because it depends how much we go out in the sun, depends how much we use. And I always bring it with us when we're out for the day as well, because if we're gone for more than a couple hours, we're definitely going to want to reapply if they're swimming and that sort of thing. So those are kind of the top 20 things I could think of that are super important for us with kids to have with us, that we consider are essentials, that we never go camping without, or we never go on to our beach house trip without either, because these are things that just make our life that much easier with the kids. And then that way they always have something to do, whether it's coloring, looking at a book, playing with some toys, exploring nature. And then also, like, you know, with the walkie-talkies, my oldest gets a little bit of independence now that he's 8, but I can still be in touch with him whenever I want. So it's really, really handy. So that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and might have given you some ideas of things that maybe you didn't think of to bring with you on vacation that might make your vacation a little bit smoother with kids. So if you did enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up, as it does help my channel a lot. If you did enjoy today's video, along with other content you see here on my channel, I would love if you consider subscribing and joining my YouTube family. It would mean so much to me and help my channel out so much, and it's completely free for you to do so. So don't forget that red subscribe button and the notification bell to miss any future videos from me. Thanks again so much for watching my video today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
You had me at hello, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need